So I'm watching this. This is like the first time I've ever actually really heard the Hunter Biden laptop story, and it's so fucking crazy that I don't understand how Republicans can be this fucking stupid. Let me just go back a little bit on this because this story is so stupid that and Kevin McCarthy is fucking pushing this bullshit. I can't even, you guys. This is so bad. This is so dumb. I want you to really think about this. I want you to really think about what's happening here. This is like trying to get it. Let me see how far back I went.
Which are some dire allegations. Now, I need a download on what I need to know about this, where the reality is, where we should be suspicious, and what is the bullshit people are slinging at the board to try to distract you from something else. So you're helping me out here with Hunter Biden. I do think it's important to point out it is true. He's gone through a lot of tragedy in his life. If we've seen images, he's dealt with drug addiction publicly. He's written about that in a book. A lot of these things are things that he verifies and talks openly about. He himself is an attorney, and
Yeah, and let's think about this for a second. Like he's not in government. He's not in government.
he's been a foreign lobbyist. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's where some of this drama starts to.
And he's currently under investigation in Delaware as well for, I believe it's tax fraud. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's something like that.
And I think that's an important thing too. When they talk about Hunter Biden being under investigation, it's I don't want to belittle tax fraud. God bless.
Right.
Investigate that tax fraud. Not for me though. And all of my tax fraud comes from.
So apparently he's kind of fucked up. He sounds like a fuck up, right? Like he's a bit of a fuck up, but why is this applicable to Joe Biden? Like you telling me none of you have any relatives that are fucking up? Come on, y'all.
Imbecility. I really don't know the difference between a W-9, W-4, so don't come at me. That's my naivete. But so Hunter Biden is under investigation, but not exactly for the stuff that Republicans are arguing. So we got nepotism, we got corruption, we got hardware repair, we got Ukrainian gas companies. What does that say about the nature of this conspiracy theory?
Well, I think, we can take this. The Hunter Biden laptop is like the latest thing, right? And so you had in this, every election, it seems, the Republican Party and conservative media are looking for something to grab hold of. And you said it yourself earlier that people are fired up about this, but they don't really know why, right? They know Hunter Biden's laptop is something that they should be upset about, and that.
Who's fired up about this other than dumbasses like the Convo Couch and Jimmy Dore? Who the fuck is fired up about this? This is like the dumbest story I've heard in a long ass time. When I hear a conspiracy theory, I want to hear about Men in Black coming in. I want to hear about like that it's not possible for one shooter to have taken down JFK. I want to hear the good conspiracy theories that really like have you sitting around the campfire at night and making you really wonder. I don't want to hear about some, fuck up kid that, well, he's not a kid really anymore, but like, who took some naked porn photos on his laptop, and does some lobbying. I think people have gotten to the point where they think that the word lobby has become such a dirty word, right? Like it's such a dirty word. But basically, any one of you who contacts a public official and asks them to do something for your community or for you specifically, you're a lobbyist. Every one of you who writes a letter to your congressperson, you are now a lobbyist. That's what lobbying is. Okay? There are professional lobbyists, yes, who actually get paid to do it for industries. It's not as dirty a word as you think.
That there's something nefarious there. But you can take a look back at, her emails, same thing. Nobody really knew what was wrong with that, but they knew that there was something wrong with it. It proved her untrustworthiness. Same thing with, you can go back to.
It also proves how little people know about technology. The fact that you could say
Right.
emails and laptop, it's as if America is just a bunch of 74-year-old grandparents who lost a remote and are like, I don't know, it's
But you
crazy. It's the witches and devils, right? That's who controls the magnets. It's the magnets. Who could ever figure these things out?
But you just described the Republican base right there, right? For the most part. I mean, that's and so they hear Hunter Biden, they hear laptop, and it just sounds nefarious. And then, all right, and then you throw into, this was uncovered by laptop repairman who contacted the FBI and talked to the FBI, and it all, the deep state's involved in this.
This is where it gets really fucked up. So basically, what he's saying is that this computer repair person who got is claiming he got this laptop from Hunter Biden. And the guy is going to say that it kind of checks out. It looks like maybe that he actually signed the receipt, but there's no other evidence. That this dude, because the laptop was never picked up after that, he actually fucking went through all of the emails. This doesn't make sense to me. I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not. If you're running a computer shop and you now own the laptop because it's no longer, they left it so long that you now, by law, you own this laptop. What the fuck are you doing going through all the emails? Wipe it and resell it. Like, that's what an actual business owner would do, is actually wipe the hard drive and sell it. There is nothing on this laptop that is FBI worthy. This is the stupidest thing ever.
Now, and it's all of these little buzzwords that they've spent years, making these into buzzwords, making these into things that Republican voters just have a reaction to, a visceral reaction just hearing these words. At this point, and I know we're going to get into the investigations and stuff like that, but if you remember back with Benghazi, I believe it was Kevin McCarthy, he was bragging about how there would not have been her emails without the Benghazi investigations.
Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable. But no one would have known any of that had happened had we not thought.
And that's really the point of this. They want to investigate this laptop just so they can find something to go after Joe Biden and, by extension, the Democratic Party with.
Fun, exciting.
Well, and they're making the same damn mistake again. Hunter Biden needs to actually get out there and start talking about this and defending his own reputation and asking the same questions as I'm asking right now. Like, who the fuck goes through all of that data? Okay, you own the computer now. Fucking wipe it. Fucking wipe Can't even. Okay. For example, if this was indeed Hunter Biden's laptop, and let's say he had the Office suite on it, that is now offered as a cloud service. So if he's logged into any programs on that laptop, he doesn't own those, because that's an account. That's a cloud account. You don't get ownership of that. So why is he going into his emails? He doesn't own, he owns the hardware that was left behind, right? This story does not add up. Think about it. This story does not add up at all. And Hunter Biden Joe needs to stay away from it, but Hunter Biden needs to say something about it, because the story totally doesn't fucking add up. That if the laptop was left behind, which I don't even know why it was brought in for computer repair in the first place. Did we even find this out? What was wrong with the computer, right? But the store owner, that's incredibly immoral for him to go through the data of that computer. It's really fucked up. Plus, he may own the equipment if it was left behind, but he certainly does not own access to the cloud accounts. And they've been doing Microsoft and all of the major manufacturers at this point have been doing cloud accounts for like 6+ years at least. Like, you don't get this shit loaded directly onto your computer anymore. And that motherfucker knows that. He knows. That's why they're saying that this story is only passable to like 74-year-olds, because like they are so computer illiterate that there's this story does not pass the sniff test, y'all.
Let's figure out what they're gonna find. So let's break this down. 2019, there's 3 water damaged laptops that allegedly Hunter Biden brings to a Delaware computer repair shop.
Yep.
And the shop owner, who's a Trump supporter, sees the receipt. It's from Hunter Biden. Allegedly, he starts going through some of these files, notices some pictures.
3 water damaged laptops. These laptops are irreparable. This is some bullshit.
He's also legally blind too.
The shopkeeper is.
Right, and he can't confirm that it was actually Hunter that dropped it off. But there is a receipt with what looks to be Hunter's signature, so give him the benefit of the doubt.
So okay, yes, there's a receipt, and supposedly Hunter doesn't pay for the repair, and therefore this is where things get legal. Now, there's a moral question here too, but multiple laptops are left there for past 90 days, so they become the owner of the repair shop. It's now his laptop.
Well, did he actually repair them? Because I have yet to see a laptop with water damage that's actually repairable. I've worked in IT for 22 years. This story is such bullshit, you guys.
Yes,
Correct?
it's his property by law.
So he starts going through this stuff, and he starts finding pictures, he starts finding emails. Like, what happens next after he sort of connects the dots of whose laptop this supposedly is and what he might have on it?
Okay, so this guy's name is John Mac Isaac. And like you said, he's a conservative Trump supporter. This is all, like you said, 2019. It's important to sort of set the time frame as well. This is a month, I think, maybe 3 weeks before the election, something like that. So he's deep into this world of right-wing politics, conservative media. He's very worried about the deep state, but
Wow. I would think that if you have such a strong political standing, that you would get somebody else involved so that you don't have that bias. So that like you ask somebody else to take a look at it and be the one who reports it. Because if you are that much of a Trump asshole, I can't even with this story. This story is pretty bad, you guys. And the fact that the Convo Couch and Glenn Greenwald and Jimmy Dore all have been pushing this bullshit. This story is pretty bad. It's hilariously bad. And they just released, and Elon Musk just released revenge porn from this fucking computer. How do they even get anything off the computer if it was water damage? This doesn't even make any sense.
talks to his dad about it, who I believe was formerly in the Army. I believe. I might be wrong about that. But his dad recommends that he contacts the local FBI field office. So he does that. The FBI comes by, and apparently they seize the laptop. And that's it. That's the last time that the laptop was ever actually seen. Mr. Isaac made copies of the laptop and put it onto a hard drive. And then at that point...
Why? Has the FBI confirmed this story? Has the FBI actually confirmed that this actually happened? Because this is such a campfire story right here. This is water damaged laptop, and you're somehow able to retrieve revenge porn off of it. water damaged laptop. And he brought in 3, so there's only one, right? Like, there's only one. Like, this story does not make. I can't believe all you motherfuckers have been pushing this story. This is so bad.
It's just him handing it off, trying to contact Giuliani. I know Steve Bannon ended up with a copy of it. And then you end up with Bannon contacting the New York Post, and that's sort of how this became a thing.
What does he think he has to begin with? He's got a laptop. It's Hunter Biden, but what does he think's on the laptop that's worthy of getting it to Steve Bannon?
Now, according to him, he pretty much ignored the salacious pictures, the salacious details, things like that.
Right.
Because they say that this thing's got a ton of that, right? That all years and years of pictures of Hunter with in sexually compromising positions,
using drugs,
things of that nature, like that. That's on there. So he claims he's not interested in that.
He's not interested in that. He says what he's interested in more is the emails, particularly about foreign policy type stuff, Hunter's dealings with agents of, say, China. And there was Burisma was the one thing that he was really focused on, according to Isaac, according to the repairman. And Burisma was an energy company where.
Okay, let me just like roll this back for a second. So you got a Trump supporting computer repair guy who says Hunter Biden left 3 water damaged laptops in his possession. And I guess one of them actually had some stuff that he was able to retrieve that he feels that when he looked at it, he felt he needed to, based on talking to his father, right? Like he talked to his father about it. He felt that it was damaging enough 1 month before the 2020 election to go to the FBI, which I don't think the FBI has confirmed that this has happened. This is the craziest ass fucking story. Republicans, you are fucked up. You come up with the craziest ass stories. Like anybody in the IT industry listening to a story like this would be like, what the fuck are you even trying to pass on me? This is some crazy bullshit.
Hunter received, it's basically a no-show job, $1 million a year, a no-show job. Which is, look, that sucks. And not for him, for him it's great, but that's like, welcome to America, right? Like, like the sons of politicians get $1 million a year no-show jobs. And so it's not.
This is lizard people bullshit again, because you guys keep doing this all the time. All of these people who are somewhat successful or are related to successful people must be lizard people, right? They get fake jobs, they just get a ton of money, and they're not doing a damn thing for a living, right? That's how it goes every time.
Really that big of a scandal, but that's what they're trying to turn it into, And I'm not too much into like what about, but we're talking about a few months after Ivanka gets those trademarks in China for whatever it was, $20 million, things like that. So at that point, it becomes Burisma. And honestly, before this interview, before I started researching this stuff again, I totally forgot about Burisma. But this was like a huge thing.
Burisma was the big talking point that they were trying to get stick before that, and I think it's a good point. It shows just how broken this system is, and I think it is true. I think folks on the left need to look at this, and there's some shady stuff that happens, but it didn't look like there was a connection between Joe Biden having influence and the money that was paid to his son. Correct? Is that sort of where it stood?
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't show that. But so now what they're doing is they need a thing, right? Conservatives just need a thing that they can repeat and what they can say. Right. And, I don't know if you remember, I think there was only one presidential debate, but in that debate, Donald Trump kept asking Biden who was the big guy, who is the big guy. And that's because there was an email where Hunter said, I'm going to set up a meeting with the big guy. And conservatives are just like, all right, that proves that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden is meeting with his business partners. Joe Biden is taking money. They say that's what all of this proves.
There could be so many fucking big guys. Give me a goddamn break. You know what? I have a hard time believing that Hunter Biden would actually consider his dad being the big guy. He's probably talking about some CEO or something.
And it doesn't, I mean, all it proves is that Hunter Biden was connected and got a bunch of money, and there's a scandal there, but it's not like we're impeaching Joe Biden over this stuff, I mean,
Yet we're probably going to be impeaching Joe Biden over all of this stuff
eventually, yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, is that the smoking gun when people are talking about what is there? Are they pointing to this email that says, and maybe, am I correct that there's maybe a couple emails that reference one, the big guy, a meeting with the big guy that perhaps Hunter could have, was that with, because there's Burisma, which is Ukrainian gas company.
Yes.
Right? But then we also had, there's Chinese money in there.
There's
correct,
Chinese,
right?
there was a Chinese company as well. Yeah, that was in there as well.
So there's a Chinese company, they're paying money to Hunter and also Joe's brother. Is that correct?
And yeah, I mean, the whole family's kind of mixed up.
This is shitty. It is. What are we doing? Where are good, clean politicians? So Joe's brothers may be getting money from China.
Just as a reminder, it's not like we don't do business with China. Nixon famously, after resigning from office, became our diplomat to China and opened up relations with China. So it's not like American companies don't do business with China. That's not, it's like every fucking business relationship is like nefarious and terrible, and literally we've been doing business with China for fucking decades, since the 80s at least. This is amazing that Republicans just are like, oh, he's doing business with China. Oh, I'm sorry. Wasn't Trump trying to do business with China as well? I think he was, right? Didn't we sell our recyclable trash to China? Weren't they doing that? Didn't we have a coal deal with China? Weren't we weren't we selling coal to them? This is hilarious that y'all do this shit.
Hunter's maybe getting money from China. I think the timeline is important here too, because they're maybe getting money after Joe's out of power.
When he wasn't in office, right? Yeah.
So technically, even if Joe's getting money at that point, not illegal, but not ideal.
No, not illegal, and certainly not ideal. I mean, I think that's definitely fair. But I mean, we're talking about.
I don't think you can even say it's not ideal, because literally this was legal. It was legal. It was going on, and we've tried to have a relationship with China ever since we sent Nixon out there as our diplomat back in the 80s.
It's like, all right, if you want to make that type of stuff illegal, make it illegal. But it's just it's not right now. And so that's the world we live in, and it sucks. It sucks, but that's where we're at, right?
I don't know that it even sucks. This is just a stupid story. It really is. I will go ahead and drop the link when I load up this video. But this is some stupid bullshit. This is some stupid bullshit, you guys. You would have to be completely ignorant of history to be upset by a private citizen having business relationships in China. Especially after Nixon was the diplomat back in the 80s and opened up our relationship with them. And Trump was fucking doing business with them. He was doing business with them. This is some bullshit. This is so stupid. Like, Republicans have to be like the most ignorant people on the fucking planet to believe all of the fucking conspiracy theories that your leaders put forward to you. This is fucking stupid.